battling technology today already.
Good morning, everybody. Everybody is Nate so far, at least in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, Nate. And I meant to call you guys yesterday. I just was beat by the time I got home. I went out sourcing with my husband yesterday, and where we went sourcing, they don't, it's like it's the bins, right? And there's like no air conditioning. It's this like swamp cooler that didn't seem to be working, and we were in there for about 2 hours. And like I left, like I was wet, and it's like, trust me, I wouldn't have stayed if I, you know, didn't feel desperate to get the buys and to get the things. It'll be nice when summer is over, because I'm just like, I'm not a big sweater normally. So it's like, I didn't know what to do with like my clothes feeling damp.
Well, it's because it was a swamp cooler. Swamp coolers add so much moisture when they're cooling.
By the time I got home and I'm sitting on the couch and cooled off, I mean, I went to Dutch Brothers Coffee yesterday. I've never had Dutch Brothers before. And I know you've had it when you've come to Vegas, you've had it. And there's one right up the street. I don't know. I just never pulled in. So I finally pulled in and I got a Dutch Brothers. Well, she said, what size do you want? I said large, because at this point I had already downed 2 bottles of water. I was really still dehydrated. And because after the bins, we went to a Goodwill store. And so I said large. Dutch Brothers large is large. I mean, it's way bigger than a Starbucks large. I was like, good Lord, this is like a big gulp. And I thought, so it was a latte, so which, has a lot of milk. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be so jittery, because this coffee, it was like this big, it was huge. And I was so afraid of being jittery from all the caffeine. It didn't even faze me. I drank it all. I didn't even feel the effects of the caffeine. I'm sure they were there. I just think I was so worn out that a coffee didn't even touch me.
Well, that either says that your tolerance is higher or their coffee wasn't very strong. I'm not sure. Yeah, I love Dutch Brothers. We've had it up here for a while. I'm not sure where it originated, but anyhow, we got topics to do today and things to do. And the first I wanted to share was this over here. About midnight last night, this broke that there's a huge Microsoft outage. And so you can find it on anything. Pretty much the world is shutting down. It's not good. They pushed through. My husband does IT, so he's like, has to go read all this stuff right now. He just went off to go dive more into it. Luckily, his work does not use Cloudflare. I don't know what I'm talking about, but whatever it is that pushed the update, a lot of places are on it, and they are grounding flights around the world right now. So that is not good. There's also like interfaces on different things are not working. So I have not dove into what exactly
is Microsoft going down, and because of that, it shuts down flights. And
but it was like Social Security shut down, 911 calls were shut down in certain states.
To show, it. And it's like, I know our show is not about political stuff, but that whole conspiracy theory part of me feels like, is this other countries, if not our own, that are showing like, look what we can do if you don't give us what we want. I watch too many movies.
Yeah, they've already determined it was not it was an update last night. They pushed through an update around midnight that crashed a lot of systems, and so certain businesses you can't check out of, they can't take transactions. You're getting a blue screen. Like I said, 911 call centers have been shut down, and they're just getting them back online. So, we rely a lot on technology for just about every job out there. Even if you're working in fields, you usually use things like Google Maps or apps or something, and there was a lot shut down. There's going to be a major economic impact. Stocks opened lower. Let's see here. Driver services in some states shut down. Philadelphia. I'm trying to see if there's anything. The largest cyber outage ever. Oh, I guess I could show that. Jeez. Largest in history here. Let's see if there was anything else highlighted.
Did it affect your online sales? I made 3 eBay sales overnight. So three 3 wholesales. I've been building up my eBay store since
Yes.
not
All right.
being on Amazon. And so I've been getting sales trickling in. And I'm starting to see a slow little steady. I'm off to a slow start because I was starting at almost zero. We've been working hard. We got our account up to about 200 listings now. I got a long way to go, but that's why we've been outsourcing and listing every day. And I'm tired. I told my husband this morning, I'm like, I'm just tired.
Yeah, so did we want to talk about eBay or do we want to do our updates with Amazon first?
I think we'll talk about eBay first and we can end on Amazon note, something a little more positive. I don't know. You guys in the chats, what do you want? You want Amazon updates first or eBay stuff first? We'll let you decide. In the meantime, I'm going to at least pull up eBay on my other tab.
Definitely.
I also signed up for Whatnot. I'd signed up to have the account sometime back, but I never really used it. I've never even watched a Whatnot. I just had got it when I had heard about it. So I actually went ahead and signed up to have a selling account. So I'm going to try to do my first Whatnot show. I'm going to have to figure out how to actually do a show, what it looks like on the back end.
Yeah, don't ask me. I downloaded the app, but I don't have any desire to watch auctions on there. So it's lost on me because I'm like, I would just buy things for me. So I wouldn't have any reason to, it would just be bad. I'm trying to get rid of things in my house, not add things. And I don't think there's anything you can do on there because I know a lot of resellers get lots and then sell them to other resellers. So that's the only community that I know about on there.
Yeah. Well, I can see why, because I watched a few Whatnot shows. I met a guy yesterday, and this guy only does Whatnot. So I asked him for the name of his Whatnot store, and I wrote it down, and I watched him live last night. So I could see why. And I watched a few other Whatnot shows. I can see why people who like to flip on eBay want to buy from Whatnot sellers, because what they're selling it for is dirt cheap. I even saw a girl from the bins at the bin. She hadn't even bought it yet, holding up stuff, selling it live from the bins before she ever even bought it. Where you're paying, a couple bucks a pound, they're starting their bids off at $3 and $5 a bid. And so I can see why people will buy off of Whatnot to flip it on eBay. So that could really be a good place to source for your eBay.
That is interesting, because then you can basically go to the bins for a whole bunch of people and sell the item, and you're guaranteed the sales. Whereas, like, I've gone to the bins and bought stuff, and then it doesn't sell, and then you're like, well, what do I do with this?
I keep buying cute outfits for myself at the bins. So
see, that's what
but I'm paying nothing for them. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cute. I'm going to buy it. Okay. So everybody says eBay. Excuse me. I'm going to cough to death. Okay. So you've not really you've been unloading Amazon inventory on eBay for now, right? And then
correct. So I've been making listings. I was up late last night making listings.
Okay. So I have not been really listing my Amazon stuff. I've been out fresh meat sourcing for eBay. And I will share here. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen. I will share with you a find that I got this was actually from the Goodwill store and not from the bins. And I always love looking at the beauty. I love hair dryers and curling irons. And so this is something I think a lot of people would walk past, right? This razor.
Well, I probably had that in my cupboard.
Right? So this is from the 80s.
Maybe not.
Here, 1986. So I found one of these on the shelf. I just looked it up because it was still new in package. If something's new in package, I'm always going to look it up, even if it's just something simple like a razor. And I was glad I did. These are some solds on this razor. So, it's amazing. And I paid $2 for it.
What? Okay, sorry, but why are people buying that?
I guess I don't know. And my background is a barber, and as a barber, even I do not know. I don't know if this handle is much more superior than other handles. What I do know, which we all know, is over time, companies, clothing companies, think of even refrigerators, the quality of the items goes down and the prices on the things go up. So a lot of men have a razor handle that they love, and they just buy the replacement cartridge head that goes onto the handle. I'm guessing, I don't know, I'm guessing that back then in the 80s, Gillette made quality handles that lasted years and years and weren't plastic and garbage like the handles that they might have today. Now that's just a guess. I can't say for sure. So that was really a really great find. And so it's like, don't overlook some of these small things that you would maybe overlook. Now, thank God I sold on eBay before, so I, get the gist of how to do eBay and the things. But I have been refreshing myself watching some YouTubers of what they're selling on eBay to see, well, what kind of clothing brands are popular. I like the hard good area. It's just my favorite. I like looking at all the knickknacks and the things that are on shelves. Going through clothes can be exhausting to me, but I have been looking at clothes at the bins because it's primarily clothes. And this morning I sold a shirt. It was like around $30 price range that I got at the bins. And it was a shirt, very lightweight, like one like this kind of material. And it couldn't even weigh a pound. And so I forgot what it is per pound, $1.79, $1.89, I want to say at the bins per pound. And so I'm trying to find my approach at the bins. Like, what am I looking for? Am I looking just for things that are cute and pulling it out and then looking at the tag and going, oh yeah, that's a good brand? Or am I going for stuff that I think, oh, that looks nice quality, that looks cute, be it male or female clothes, and just listing it because the quality looks good. I like the shirt regardless of the name brand. Or do I just go through looking at tags only? So I've been kind of switching up my approach every time I go, and I'm trying to sell all the things because I feel like I'm getting this stuff so incredibly cheap. I filled up an entire IKEA bag, those really big blue IKEA bags yesterday at the bins and weighed it. It cost me $12.87. So it's just like, it is so cheap. It is so like, especially, coming from a background of Amazon spending, it's like, good grief. I don't think I've ever had a bill come up to that cheap unless it was one thing I found on the clearance aisle, right? Like, so it's like, and here I'm getting a bag full of stuff. So I thought, you know what? I can experiment. Name brands, no name brands. I'm just going to play. Sherry says here in the chat that older items sell for props in movies as well. Now that I did know. I have sold in years past, prior to Amazon, things that were bought by movie companies. So I've always thought that is cool. And I agree, definitely like vintage telephones or vintage radios, like actual hard good items like that. Movie people will definitely buy them for props. So yesterday I was going through, pulling out items I thought looked nice and then seeing if they were name brands. And I wasn't buying the non-name brand stuff. So this was a Tommy Hilfiger top. I pulled it out because I liked it. I liked the colors. I thought it was cute. And so these are things I have not listed yet. I just got these yesterday.
You're going to keep that one, right?
No, I'm going to sell it. It's too big for me. This is a large. I wear mediums. This for me is too big. But I thought this would be super cute with jeans. And this is a more current style, right? The little deal at the neck. I don't know what you call that, little ruffling. But that is one thing I got. Another thing I got that I looked up right before we went live because I was curious. There are things that I bought without looking up. This one is missing her wings. So this is these little figures that have no faces and they look like they're carved out of wood.
Yeah, I've got one.
Called Willow Tree. And so I have bought and sold Willow Tree many, many times. And so just seeing that it was Willow Tree, I got 20% off of the $2.99. And you can always see at the bottom, it will have Willow Tree and the name of the figurine. And so I just thought it was like a little girl with her cat. Well, there's a hole back here. So there had originally been wings. So I'm guessing this is meant to be a memorial, maybe for a lost cat. I don't know. I know that these kind of figurines are normally sold in like Christian supply stores. They'll have families sometimes. It'll be like a mom that's pregnant or a married couple. They just make different figurines of the willow tree. So this, if it were brand new with her wings, she's being sold on Amazon for $30.
Can
I
you find
think,
wings?
huh?
Can you find wings? Like,
Maybe, but you know what? I think even on eBay, people would buy something like her without the wings because she's still cute, the girl with her little cat. So I'll probably list it anyway and just say the wings are missing. If it doesn't sell, I didn't pay that much for it. I'm not really that worried about it. This I picked up again because I just liked all the different kind of colors on it. It's like this green flower, but I grabbed it because it was Lucky Brand. I know Lucky Brand will
Lucky
always sell well. Lucky Brand is a good name brand. So I bought that top. Now, I have no idea. I've never done these kind of tops. I watch Katie and Vicky on YouTube. They're two ladies that live here in my city. I've watched them even all these years. I do Amazon and don't really mess with eBay very much. I still watch them because they're both so incredibly knowledgeable and they sell some high ticket stuff on eBay and they source only at the Goodwill bins. That's their only place they source. So I like to watch them. Well, Katie sells only men's clothes, like t-shirts and stuff. And she says she always buys like shirts, like she always shows shirts like this, shirts that are from like you went on vacation, like this one, for instance, to Lake Tahoe. She buys religious men shirts if it's from like some men's church camp or things like that. She buys those kind of shirts and some of them will go for big money. This t-shirt is super thick. Got it at the bins. So it's like, if I sell it, great. If I don't, okay. I tried it. My husband found this one. It caught his eye because it was a Lakers shirt. So Kobe Bryant played for the Lakers, if I am correct. And so this caught his attention when he saw the purple. So he grabbed that. One thing I love is that my husband goes sourcing with me. Sometimes people's spouses don't
mine wouldn't.
don't enjoy that, but my husband definitely loves the hustle. And then I have sold many, many times anything Santa Cruz. It's like, yeah. And so this was a kid's hoodie. This is for a kid. So I'm going to give it a try. Again, all of this was from the bins. This is from my haul yesterday that cost $13. I found it's actually from the Olympics. The tag shows that it's it says team apparel, and it is a kid's sweatshirt with USA, and on the back it is Tokyo. Yeah, so I grabbed that just because Olympic related items so well, and it's really thick and soft. It's really good quality. I don't know if I'm going to put these on eBay or if I'm going to try to do it on Whatnot. I just don't know yet. I'm always looking for Patagonia. Patagonia is a brand that sells really well on, I think, all of the platforms. It's got a pocket in the front. And so I was pretty excited to find that at the bins. I'm almost done. I have just two more tops. I personally love this brand of clothing. I've wore it for years. Love, love, love. It's White House Black Market. It fits me good. I'm a short girl. I'm only 5'2". And so when you're short like me, I have the opposite problem of tall people. Short people, I buy a pair of pants and I can also wear them as shoes. Like everything is too long for me. Sleeves come down too far, right? Where tall people have the opposite problem. Everything is floods or shirts become crop tops. This brand fits a short girl really, really good. It is a beautiful, beautiful sweater. It's hard to see on the camera, but this is like gold. It's shiny gold threading in there. It feels brand new, like brand new. So White House Black Market is kind of middle of the road on what it sells. It's not a high dollar resale, although it cost high dollar. And then my husband had spotted this Patagonia flannel type of shirt.
What size is that one?
That one is XXL.
Oh, never mind.
Then we saw a guy at the bins a couple weeks ago. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to share with you. buying a bunch of golf clubs. I don't know if I shared it here last week, not golf clubs, but the bags, or if I shared it earlier this week on a video that I did. But he had got like 5 golf bags from the bins he was carrying out. And so I decided to look up used golf bags on eBay. Now I realize it's going to be a big item to ship. Maybe you could do it on local pickup, like Facebook Marketplace or something. And I looked up how much these golf bags go for used, and there was good money in golf bags. Items like that, historically, I've just walked right past them because they're big. I just never thought of looking them up. So we found this. It is in such good shape. It's a Callaway golf bag. I haven't even looked it up yet.
Hold on.
$13. Oh, and I did actually get one. I did get not one. I got 3 more things, but they were clothes for me. And I also bought. I'm going to give it to my son. It's a golf game, and we did look it up before I decided to give it to him. It only sells for like $20 on eBay, but it's like for golfers, but it's like pool. So the golf balls are kind of like pool balls, and it's some kind of game you can play for golfers. And my son likes golfing, so.
So good morning, Nate, Ryan, Isabella, JR. We will get to your questions in just a moment. I wanted to pop up on here that Callaway used golf bags are not too bad, and they're charging for shipping. I mean, that's not bad. I don't know if I see the one that you had there, but I'm sure, with some more information, I don't know what to put in. But, like that, I would have walked by and been like, that's one ugly bag. I would have walked past a lot.
Right? And they go for good money. I sold a Barbie also this week for $150.
Jeez, what? What
Yeah.
kind of Barbie was that?
Yeah. So that was that. There you go. That looks similar. Heather reached out, not Heather. Nicole reached out to me about a Barbie that she saw on Facebook Marketplace. And she's like, you should go get this Barbie. It sells for really good money. So she says, ask the lady if she has more Barbies. And so I bought 2 Barbies from this lady on Facebook Marketplace. So it was like a local meetup. And last week we had went up and met the lady, or the week before. All my days are running in together. And I met her in the gas station parking lot and bought a couple Barbies off her and flipped that one for $150.
Nice. Nate wants the bag. Nate, send Tina an offer right now. Send her a good offer. I don't know how much did you pay for the bag because it was at the bins, right?
No, this one wasn't at the bins. That one I actually bought at the Goodwill, and I paid $15 for it.
Okay, so then what are you going to charge Nate for?
$16.99, right? Yeah, the clothes were just from the bins, and there were some more clothes from the bins and a golf game from the bins. But those are in a pile for the laundry because some of that stuff we're keeping for ourselves. This was the stuff that we got for flipping. So yeah, I'm curious, do any of you do Whatnot? Have you tried it? Have you bought off of it? Have you sold on it? It's all new to me. I definitely want to try that. I think you could get more money selling the things on eBay than you can on Whatnot. But I really love the idea of doing it right from the bins, like grabbing a bunch of good stuff like this, selling it before you've even paid for it for such a low price for people then to be able to flip on eBay. That's really quite cool.
Yeah, because and you could even, I don't know if this would be doable or not, but you could even say like every piece of clothing that I find is going to be $5 for you, and then just go.
Yeah.
I don't know if having different prices would work or other ones. The one that I couldn't find the link I sent you, but something popped up in my feed, and vintage underwear is a hot item.
Yeah, especially I think Hanes. I think the vintage Hanes, like the regular tidy whities.
Yeah, well, Fruit of the Loom goes pretty good.
Always look at that stuff. And I also had found a vintage ice cube tray, like the aluminum kind that has this handle. And it, interestingly enough, was still in its original plastic wrap, and I had sold that. So it has been fun. Because it's also, kept me busy building, my other side business that was my side business to Amazon, which is now currently my main business. And it is not generating enough money to cover what I made on Amazon in any way, shape, or form. I have a long way to go to build up eBay, and if I do whatnot and whatever else I decide to add in to the mix. Right now, I'm just, those right there, that 3278, those kind of ice trays. Yep, those. I found one of those in the bins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, and it weighed nothing, so it didn't even cost me $1.
That is awesome. Excellent. Yeah. So let's answer some questions really quick. Isabella says, are you going to wash your clothing first, the ones from the bins?
I do, just because I don't know, it kind of creeps me out to I don't know. And it's sometimes they smell, sometimes they're dirty, right? And sometimes they smell like someone laundered them and donated them. I don't know. That stuff creeps me out. Like, I'm not going to wear something that I got at the bins without washing it. So I do wash everything. Now, if it looks good now, like not wrinkly or yucky, I will take the pictures of it and list it before I wash it. But I always wash it, fold it, and then we're putting it in, since we have all of our Amazon bags, we're then just putting it in our plastic Amazon bag. And I had a bunch of empty totes already. And so we've made totes for like women's tops, men's pants, So in my one closet that goes under my staircase at my house, I have a bunch of clear bins so I can see through them. And they're labeled, and I've been filling up these bins that I have in a closet. Now, if I never get my Amazon account back, I have a whole room dedicated to Amazon. It's like a mini warehouse in there. It's a huge, huge master bedroom. And I use that as my Amazon warehouse along with the garage. So if I were to never get my Amazon account back, I will use that space to now be for doing eBay, whatnot, and any other reselling platform I do moving forward. I'm always going to keep hope that I get Amazon account back, but I'm planning and working as if I don't have it at all.
Yes. Ryan's question was, where are we keeping inventory? And that's a good question. I have my warehouse until April, and I had decided long ago, like very much long ago, that I was not going to be resigning with them for a slew of reasons. And in fact, they asked me for a survey the other day, and I'm like, I don't think you want to survey me. And in fact, I might be like posting about how awful it is. Anyhow, they're having a barbecue for tenant appreciation here next week, and I'm just going, God, I don't want to see those ladies.
Yeah, the last time they did that appreciation, you had been there working on your toilet problem for.
I know. Yeah. I was wrong. And they gave me, my daughter went with me because there was going to be ice cream and like hamburgers, and she and her friend came and they were packing for me. And the lady gave me heck. She was like, well, we really only figured one hamburger for your place because, but I guess they could have a hamburger. And I'm like, for the amount of money that I pay here, your shitty burgers, anyhow, is just livid. Because like the way they treat you is just god awful. Anyhow, I don't like my place. Counting down days I don't want to run into them. They had the nerve to ask to piggy off my Wi-Fi so they could run their video cameras. They still don't have video. They told me they were getting cameras because we have break-ins all the time, and there was a shooting. When I started there, they were like, we're so safe. We've never had this and we've never had that. And within 2 years, I've had 2 drive-bys, at least 3 or 4 break-ins. I've had to go pull my security surveillance to try and help the other people because, I'm going to help them. It's not for my landlord.
Yeah.
And anyhow, and then they were like, well, we want to put up cameras, but we're not going to pay for the Wi-Fi. Well, you're not going to piggyback off my Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. I pay an arm and a leg for nice internet because I have to for work. And so no, I'm not going to give, no, you can't tap into my stuff. Are you crazy? We've gone through, one of my maintenance guys has been there for a while, but he's gone through like 3 or 4 partners. So I was all like, John, who's your partner now?
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't want to complain about it. It is what it is. And it's not it's just not ideal. I'm not thrilled with them. Okay, so if we want to move on to Amazon,
Yes.
it's going to be not super exciting because we really don't have. The end result is we don't have a whole lot of updates, but I do have some updates on parent-child violations that I wanted to share with the group. And then my account personally, I spent a chunk of time on the phone yesterday. I was able to find through the help group that we're in, somebody posted a link to have Account Health call you, which is great because if I go into my account now and I hit the contact button for Account Health, it only gives me the email option, not the email and the phone option. So they shared a link that gives me the phone option. And I was livid about this the other day, and I called and I said, I can't call Account Health. I want to get the notes. I submitted my POA on Sunday morning. This was like Tuesday. I think I called Tuesday morning. And I can't call Account Health. Can you transfer me to Account Health? Seller support said that they cannot transfer to Account Health. And I was like, okay, find me somebody that can transfer me to Account Health or give me another solution. I went round and round with this idiot for an hour. And after about 30 minutes in, I said, let me talk to somebody else because, clearly I'm not getting through with you on what I need. I said, you keep telling me, you've told me to go to the website, you've told me to go through Account Health. I said, all the instructions you have told me is the stuff that I've already told you since the beginning that I did. I did all that. So I've been doing this for 10 years, hon. I don't need to be told to go to Account Health and click the contact me now button. That is like not helpful. So she kept saying, well, I can't transfer you. I can't transfer you. I said, okay, I get that. You don't have to repeat it again, but you still aren't giving me any other options. Can you message them to have them call me? Can you open a case to have them call me? Can you figure out another way? So anyhow, then I was like, well, let me talk to a supervisor. And she wanted to go round and round on that. Well, what do you need to talk to him about? Well, I don't know if I can find one right now. I just can't do that. Well, why don't you go to this help page and read those instructions? Give me the supervisor. So I got the supervisor who was much more helpful. And he's like, well, I can clearly see that you can't contact them. I'm like, well, thanks for at least looking at the account. He's like, well, I don't know why that is. You and me both, honey. So he shoved me to escalations, and escalations then told me that things were still in review, but it looked like parent-child variation violations. And I'm like, okay, that's a new one. We've now had 3 different reasons on why my account is kiboshed. So anyhow, got off the phone with him. Nothing really happened after that. And I called back yesterday and they said that my account is still in review and to wait for an email response. So Tina, you think yours is in the same boat, right?
It is, because I submitted an appeal and I've never gotten a letter or response back from Amazon about it being denied or approved. But on my Account Health page where you would submit an appeal, it says review complete.
Right. I asked about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they don't send anything. They don't send it's denied because of this, or you haven't addressed that, or something to help you know what it is. The parent-child thing is something I have a hunch that Amazon could be going after because of
They are. I have a whole spiel on that.
Yeah, because of my listing that was flagged a week before my deactivation. Amazon was coming after me for review manipulation for having a parent-child relationship on some coffee cups. And I didn't have any reviews on that listing, if you recall. I took screenshots saying I didn't have reviews. They still didn't like that. They said I was manipulating the parent-child relationship for reviews. I deleted the parent, making them both children, and they were in compliance again, and Amazon was happy. So it's almost like Amazon does not want you making variation listings, even if they make sense.
I have the answer to that. I feel like I've gotten one answer this whole week. One answer. And yeah, Ryan is totally right. They will continue to run you in circles and they don't tell you the right information. Absolutely. And that's what I was trying to tell this tech lady on Tuesday. I said, I get your position, you can't transfer me or whatnot. I said, but honestly, I have been lied to so many times by support that I just need to talk to somebody in somebody a little bit higher up, whatnot. So it was very frustrating, very, very frustrating. Okay, so here is the spiel going on, and I'm gonna put this up. Let's see here. This is what they sent me, but it's not very interpretive. It just says that it's fundamentally different than the parent, right? Your children are fundamentally different than the parent. So I went through this with, it was some Indian name. I can't remember his name, Shibushki or something. And I said, explain it to me, what's going on with parent and children, because we make listings all the time. I make listings for clients. This was on behalf of a client that he got flagged for a listing that has been up for 2 years. 2 years, we haven't made any changes. And that was the first thing I called him. I'm like, did you make any changes? I haven't made any changes. We didn't update anything. Like, nothing flagged or triggered on our end to get a parent-child violation. And he said, no, this has been active for 2 years, the way it's been. And what it is, let's say we'll stick with coffee cup, and I have Yoda the best mom, right? Coffee mug. And then I have Yoda the best dad coffee mug. And my parent says Yoda the best mom coffee mug. Jesus. Sorry.
Who flings coffee out onto themselves?
Yeah, so now that I've taken a bath and I've got my keyboard and everything now, so it's freaking embarrassing. But if you have the parent says Yoda the best mom coffee mug, and then the children are Yoda the best mom, Yoda the best dad, and then I go in and I change those titles up to be, Mother's Day gift, blah, 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 and then the other one's like Father's Day gift, blah, 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 blah. Because the parent said Yoda the best mom, and now I've added a child that's about the dad, that is a violation. And what it needs to be structured wise is coffee cup for parents, and then the child is going to be coffee cup for parents / parentheses mom, and the dad is going to be / parentheses dad. And you cannot go in and change the child titles to be fundamentally different than the parent. So your parent title needs to be super generic, and then your children need to be that title / whatever the variation is. And I'm like, that is utterly ridiculous. There's a lot of things, and we usually always SEO do up our titles the best we can because it makes the SEO better.
And a lot of people go in to change the titles of their listings for holidays. Sometimes it's Yoda the best mom coffee cup that you sell all year, but during the Mother's Day season, you want to change the title to get the Mother's Day shoppers by adding Mother's Day to it. Maybe at Easter time, you're adding, Mother's Day Easter gift. Maybe you're putting, when it's not any holiday, you're putting birthday gift in it. Maybe at Christmas, you're adding stocking stuffer to it, where it's still really the same listing. You're just trying to get a good SEO keyword in the title. You're not really trying to manipulate the listing. You're trying to get an audience that's out shopping right now to sell your item. That's been a common practice for a long time with lots of people who make listings.
Absolutely. So the solution, which I got to finish out today, is deleting the parent, and then I've got to go make a new parent and put only like things kind of together, and it's got to be structured, whatever that parent title is, it's got to be structured that parent title, and then the variation, and the variations all have to be within the same kind of category, which is hard to kind of do with some things on figuring out a commonality, because this one was 21 items together, and I'm going, well, that's like, it has to do with shapes and stuff. So there's some that are like mythical dragons and mermaids and stuff, and then there's some that are more like zebras. So I'm like, do I want to do one that's kind of safari, and then ones that's fantasy? So I've got to ponder that.
I did some listings for JBL, the speaker company. Mm-hmm. And so all of them were variations. So there were 7 listings total that were done. but 14 items because it comes in black and it comes in white. So I did the title of their JBL speaker, and then I just named the child black and white. So the title is still fundamentally the same.
Yeah.
But the choice is black and white. Now I would have done it that way anyway. That's because that's just the way I would have done a listing as simply as that.
Right. But now you can't go into those listings, because sometimes we'd go into the listings and be like, well, I want black at the beginning of the title. So, and the white at the beginning instead of at the end. And I wouldn't do that right now while they're still
That's
trying to
right.
figure
I've
out what
worked for
they're doing.
food companies that have wanted me to change their titles. Like, we want you to add this at the beginning of the title. Can you change that for me? And they're my clients, and I'm like, sure, and I've gone in there and done that. And like you said, moving forward, I definitely will not be doing that.
Well, I just thought that was, and it's got to be bot driven. It's got to be bot driven.
Mhm.
So even, yeah, you think of even just common things like, say, socks, and you have socks that are whatever, 6-packs and 12-packs and white and black. And a lot of times you'll see them changed up so that the title is white 6-pack of socks versus pack of socks, 6-pack white.
Right.
So I don't know how far it's
Mhm.
going to go, or how much of a change is manipulating.
Well, it is interesting because one of my clients, he wanted me to make a change on his listing last week, and Amazon wanted tons of proof as to why I should have permission to change the bullet points on his listing. And it was really the same bullet points, but kind of rearranging them in an order that he felt like he liked better.
Mhm.
And they wanted me to give them valid proof, by the manufacturer's website, and like all of these different forms of proof I could submit as to why they should update these bullet points I was requesting to change on this listing. In fact, one of them was duplicated for whatever reason. The same bullet point was there twice.
Mhm.
And that was part of my argument. Well, this bullet point, for instance, is repeated. It's just an error on the catalog, and no go. So I thought that was interesting. So they definitely were changing some stuff on what they were allowing in the back end.
That is crazy. So two things. Let's see if I can remember them both. My guy that I talked to yesterday on account health said that my account has nothing to do with parent-child issues. So the guy on Tuesday didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then, of course, I've forgotten the second thing I was going to say. Oh, well, it will come to me in a minute. It's just.
And another interesting thing about somebody else that is deactivated, somebody else that's deactivated, they are a registered brand. They own that brand name. They have, private label items they sell under that brand name. They use their own UPC codes that they purchase under their brand name. And they were somebody that was deactivated. I really have just lost all faith and trust in Amazon. Not that I ever had faith and trusted them fully, but after this experience, I really have realized that nobody is safe. Nothing at all is safe. Nothing. I know my appeal included all of my letters of authorization. I buy wholesale. I have invoices to support all of that. So it's, and permissions and all the things. So, I've been a pretty safe player overall. Have I bent the rules in the past and done things? For sure, because I could. But
yeah. Well, and
yeah,
we've been on the phone with support many times where they've said, do this and do that. So
and it was really the bending of the rules, but yet the Amazon rep was guiding you to do it that way. I agree. So it definitely has just made me feel yucky with Amazon for sure. And some people who have been deactivated for particular listings, those listings are still active on Amazon, and other sellers are currently still selling on those listings. So why was one person deactivated for a listing that other people are still selling on and it's active. Like, where is the sense in any of it?
Yes, I still have listings that I have now, are not in my inventory and have been recalled, and I are, had to delete to do this POA. And I have people that are on listings, and I'm going, well, if you don't like the listing, you should take the listing down for everybody, not just for me.
Not just me. Yeah.
Not just me. So that was one of the things that now I wrote it down because I remembered it while you were talking. But the first lady that I spoke to was telling me to just submit all my invoices. And that when I went round and round, I'm like, invoices for how long? Well, for all of them. And I'm going, for all my inventory for the last month. Like, what invoices do you want? Yes, just for everything. I'm like, if I submit 10 years worth of invoices to you, honey, I will crash the system. So no. And if I submit invoices for even the last month, well, for all the brands, that's even like hundreds of pages. Some of their things are just not realistic on what they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then on this week, the conversation, the idiot that I had on Tuesday wanted, like, what other cases have I worked on that, because I said I've been transferred before. And she's like, well, tell me what case number that was that you were transferred before. I don't make record of this, but maybe I should be, like, put it in my calendar. On Tuesday, I talked and they were able to do this, because I've had so many times where reps, some of them can do the things and others cannot do the things. And I'm like, well, how come I called and they were able to do it, but you can't do it? Like, I don't get, don't you have all the same system and same buttons per se? And I've had reps flat out lie to me on what they can do and what they can't do. I get their supervisor on the phone. They're like, oh yeah, they're new or whatnot. So I don't know how much detail we need, because that was one of the things I talked to, I don't remember if it was this week or last week, but on listings. And I'm like, I've literally been on the phone building listings with the catalog team in hand. Well, what day was that? When was that? I don't even know what year it was. It could have been last year. It might have been the year before. And then I didn't log it down on what it was. Don't you have notes in my account on when I called? It should be there in your system. I didn't make notes of it, but it just makes me think going forward, maybe I should make notes that on very detailed.
Because one of the guys that is in our group has mentioned that his call in to seller support to help him with one of his listings, like you're saying, to make sure he was doing it correctly. He followed their advice on the phone with them and set up the listing in how he was instructed. Yet that is the listing that got him deactivated.
Yeah. And so they want to know who it was, what day, and all of that. And I'm going, just like I was complaining yesterday, my post lady likes to stuff my office mailbox full. Like, so I'm getting these returns, and some of them are things that shouldn't be folded. And she's just shoving them into my little box. I got like this little box, and she's just shoving them in there as best as she can. And it's pissing me off. And my kids are like, well, can't you, file a claim or something? I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. Either the post office or Amazon to file any claim. They want to have all the pictures.
Do like Dana White did, where he, remember, it was a few months back, Dana White, he was in New York and he was videotaping this guy that was working for FedEx, UPS, one of those companies, just like chucking like he's throwing a football, just chucking the boxes into the back of the truck. And so maybe that's what you need to do is video her doing that with your mail.
For reals. I should have taken a picture of it stuffed full. Like, you couldn't even get in there. And what just riles me up is she keeps putting Hector's mail in there. I'm like, stop giving me Hector's mail. Hector, I've never met Hector. I don't know Hector. I've been there for 2.5 years. Still, Hector is not there. And you keep giving me Hector's stuff. Like, quit it. Get the hint.
He needs to change his mailing address so he gets his mail where he's at now.
Well, I don't know where Hector is. If I knew where Hector was, I would go talk to Hector at this point. I'm really pissed off with Hector. Anyhow, it's not Hector's fault. He's got bills, and apparently he's wanted in like Oregon and in Washington for not paying his stuff, because I keep getting like past due notice and things from the state that I recognize are naughty mails.
Yes. And I've thought, well, you and I haven't spoke about this. I think I make jokes about it every week, but honest to God, like, what if we don't get our accounts back? As far as this channel goes, all of you that hang out with us weekly, primarily, I think, sell on Amazon and you watch us for Amazon news. Now, I will be staying up to date on most Amazon things because I have clients and I work in their accounts for them. But if my life is now going to be centered around doing eBay and possibly whatnot, I'm going to give it a try, just to try it. Would you want to hang out with us and talk about that and watch that? Or, I thought, should I start another YouTube channel just dedicated to that and still keep this one Amazon dominant, which is what all of you have always watched us for? I feel like I don't know what the direction is for us or for YouTube or what we're talking about with all of you. I feel like I'm in this weird, like, limbo state.
Don't start another channel, because that's just, I think if you change the topic of your channel, then that's fine. Like, go more towards eBay or whatnot, but don't start another channel.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Tina. I don't like when I sub to people. I don't like it when they start another channel. I'm like, why? I just want all your stuff in one place. I'm not going to go do another channel. I mean, unless if it's vastly different.
Right.
Like, I have a personal channel. That's where my kids' videos are that I share with my family. But that
unless it's like my channel dedicated to all things unicorns.
All things what?
Unicorns. I don't know why unicorns was the first thing that came to my mind. I don't own any unicorns.
Yeah, no, I think just sticking with general reselling. If you don't get your accounts back with who you're currently using, can I send you a contact I personally used? Honey, there is not a contact you have that we are not in touch with. There is, in our group of 30, there is Ed Rosenberg, there is Jeff Stick, there's my lawyer, there's Riverbend, there's every other e-commerce helpful person out there that like, there's over 30 of us in that group, so everybody has one, and while there's some crossover, there isn't a name in there that I've seen that's missing from the slew of people that handle this stuff.
Because I can have someone, I promise. Look, if they work at Amazon, they got the interior hookup.
Ooh, yeah, my one guy, he's like, do you want me to get you in touch with my inside guy? Yes, I do, please.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you can send it.
Definitely send it. I know you kind of reached out to me through Reno, but I thought it was you that maybe was doing the appeal. But yeah, definitely hit me
up. The other thing in the group is they are starting to document for class action. That's where this is headed. And I haven't talked to you about it, whether you would be involved or not, or what that involvement even looks like. I've never rounded up for a class action in my life. So I don't even know like what that is. Do we have to wear hats? Do we get a shirt? I don't know. Do I have to wear a button? Maybe a button. But they are starting to talk to Ed about representing in a class action.
Yeah.
That's where this is headed. And it's kind of crazy that's where it's going. That's just nuts that they can't, like, Tina and I are small fry, and we're like, okay, if we get reactivated, awesome. If we don't, we always will find something else to do. It's not going to be like devastating. The people in there are some that are doing 20 million a year, and they had to shut down their warehouses, lay off people. They have large loans and much bigger warehouses than I do that are, possibly they're looking at, possible bankruptcy, or, they're looking at bigger problems than we are here. We are definitely small potatoes. At least I feel like a potato. What are you doing today? Are you doing listings? What do we got going on?
Actually, well, Finance Friday, I'm doing the bills and the paperwork. It hasn't been as extensive because I don't have too many like big Amazon stuff to do. I have paid off my Amazon credit card, so like bookkeeping as far as that goes is done. I don't have inventory lab work to do. So my bookkeeping task is a lot faster these days now that everything's caught up. But I'm going to do my Finance Friday, run my numbers, go over, where I'm standing with eBay, where I'm starting to grow there. I'm going to, track those numbers. And I'm going to go meet a friend for lunch on her work break over at Park MGM today. And then, yes, we have a pile, that little pile you saw, and I have another pile out there at the table that we're going to work on. What's funny is we've been listening and working on eBay from our kitchen table while we watch TV. Why we're not working in our Amazon room where we always work, where all the things are, I don't know. Like, we're just like switching up our scenery.
Sometimes that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Ryan, you say that's been tried before, doesn't work. I'm not sure what you're talking about. If it's the class actions, yes, they have been tried and won. That's what they're pulling. They're pulling all the data from all the class actions over the last, I don't know how many years on what was brought to the table.
From 2022, I want to say there were 6 different ones that have been done, filed, and that they have won.
See if I can find, because they were pulling the information on like what would we need to bring to court, like what all of the things. Let's see here. I don't know if I can copy and paste this into my thingy. I don't even know if I didn't really read. Wow, that did not copy and paste right. I don't even know if it's worth bringing up. Let's see here. So this is what they're starting to pull. Like, this case was back in 2018, 2021. You can go and find all these case summaries, but that's what they're starting to highlight and see, like, what would we need to bring for a class action, and what are the past class actions. And there was one somebody posted all the money that people were paid out, like what they won when they won the arbitration, and some were as little as 80,000 and some were much bigger than 80,000. I was just looking at that. I'm going, well, 80,000 divided by 30 ways is not very much. But we'll see. Anyhow, what am I doing?
For me at the bins.
Huh?
I said it would be a lot for me at the bins.
Oh, here we go.
I will say that's the kind of the funny part about sourcing for eBay is how little it costs. I'm so used to thousands and thousands of dollars being spent per month, and here I'm spending hundreds.
Yeah, I have not. I don't know if I could do the bins. All right, here's the other one that they were pulling the cases like this. Oh, 800,000. That was pretty good. This one was 340, 800, 200, 775. These are all for small seller success cases against Amazon. So, that's the research being done behind the scenes with everybody. And I hope we don't have to go that route, but we'll see what happens. I got to go round things up. We spent yesterday kind of unboxing and getting everything grouped up. And then I got to go through my eBay listings.
Our inventory we're pulling in. I'm debating. I told Lucy before we started the show, if I don't see any progression by the end of July, here in 2 more weeks, I will probably pull all of my inventory from Amazon. There's no reason to have it sitting there paying storage fees. So I will probably just remove all of my inventory by the end of the month if I don't see any progression with anybody's cases. And then I will decide how I get rid of it, whether I do whatnot on my Amazon inventory, if I sell it to another Amazon seller who's not going to be in trouble, if I do an auction, if I try to sell it on eBay. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with it.
Ooh, let's ask if anybody knows any good auction things, because you had told me BoxFox or FoxBox, and I can't get FoxBox to work. I don't know if they're still in business or what's going on,
Yes,
but they
on their site, it's BoxFox, and I've used them for years, and they have current auctions going, but something is glitchy. I've tried to email me, they didn't email me back, so something is going on today.
But that's my debate, is now that I'm rounding things up, do I sell them piecemeal, just eBay listings and do quantity, whatever, or do I try to do big lots and auction off, large large amounts of kind of the same thing. So that's what I got to go decide. And of course, I'll probably do a little bit of
I have
both.
to, my phone is laying down here on the table, and I saw I had a text message. You know how our phones listen to us
Oh, shoot.
and things happen? I have a text message from somebody I do not know. It's calling me Melanie. It says, "Hi, Melanie," which clearly they have the wrong number. It says, "Are you free to play golf tomorrow?"
That is creepy.
It
You
is.
only just
I feel
started
like
talking about
texting it back saying, "Oh, did you hear about my new Callaway bag?"
is it somebody on here? Somebody on here is texting you, Melanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of crazy. But yeah, they do listen. And we talk about so many weird things. Like I'll probably get underwear ads later for men.
Yeah. Hey, and with your warehouse, possibly you could be a pack and prep center for a couple of sellers until April comes around when your lease is up. Make some money to pay that rent.
I don't know. That sounds like a freaking pain in the butt. I don't know. Bag to them. Yeah, sell that bag to them. Yes, this is Melanie. I have a bag to sell for you. Would you like to buy my Callaway bag? Oh, too funny. Too funny. All right. Well, I don't know. I gotta take the dogs, I think. My one dog is looking healthy enough that she would like to go to the office. And then we wound up with Mike's dog last night too. He's not doing well. We have a friend. Maybe when we're down here. Anyhow, I got an extra dog. And so I think I'm gonna pack up the dogs and head to the office and get everything grouped up and then call it early because we are trying to book our Rome Coliseum tickets tonight. Which is
Fun.
fun. Sort of fun. It's interesting. You have to book 30 days out exactly. So you have to sit there and like spam at the exact hour you want tickets and try to get them.
Oh wow, it's hard to get them.
Yes, very hard.
All
That's our
right,
big
guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Definitely comment, where you would like to see us go with our show, because I don't want to come on here every week and talk about, well, we still don't have Amazon. And how interested you are in other topics of reselling. And of course, we'll still stay on top of Amazon news. So I'm just as happy to talk about Amazon things as well, because I am active in Amazon, just in other people's accounts. I'm just feeling like that's not what I'm doing right now. So, I like to come on here to share my life. So for those of you who watch this later, definitely comment. I'm just curious what you'd like to see. And I hope you guys have a great, profitable weekend. And that's it for me.
Thank you. You all have a great weekend. Take care.
Bye-bye.